There are big changes coming to Six Flags and their pass system. They just spent the last couple years pushing people away from their season passes and onto their membership program. And in 2022, they've done a complete 180. The question is this a good thing or a bad thing? Let's dive into the details, talk about why they're doing this, and see what this means for the future of Six Flags. Their new pass system is kind of a hybrid between their old season passes and memberships. It's like the old season passes because it's not a monthly charge with no expiration. These will expire at the end of the year, but they do offer a 4-payment option if you can't pay in full. This is like their membership because there are different tiers. You have your Thrill Seeker Pass, your Extreme Pass, and your Ultimate Pass. One thing is absolutely for certain. You are not going to save money with this new plan. Now, will you get more for your money? That's more debatable, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it. Before I dig into this, I want to talk about the parks that are showing this new pass, and which ones still show the membership option. Magic Mountain, Discovery Kingdom, Over Texas, and Fiesta Texas all show the new option. Everyone else still shows the membership. It seems to me they picked out the parks that are open all year, and the other parks will have this show up closer to when they're open. Six Flags Mexico just shows Exhausted next to their membership option, so that's not an option there either. Let's take a look at the lowest tier, the Thrill Seeker Pass. At Magic Mountain, this is $114.99. These prices vary park to park, but for this video, let's focus on Magic Mountain. $79 is pretty standard for a regular season pass before. If you bought it during the flash sale, you could get the free upgrade for free parking. This Thrill Seeker Pass does have free standard parking, but it has two major restrictions we've never seen before on a Six Flags Pass. These are only good at Magic Mountain and Hurricane Harbor, and they have blockout dates. For Magic Mountain, it looks like they're only taking away Saturdays during Fright Fest. For Hurricane Harbor, it looks like they're blocking out every single weekend they're open. You also get a few other benefits. 2 special rate tickets for friends and family, but who knows how much of a discount you'll actually get. You also get Six Flags rewards. This isn't really clear, but it could be like their membership awards, where you get points for visiting the park, checking in the rides, or buying things. You also get 1 skip the line pass that you can use on a weekday. There are pros and cons to this compared to the old regular season pass. And maybe if you never visit any other Six Flags parks, this is a little better since you get free parking. And nobody wants to go to Fright Fest on a Saturday anyway. But losing every single weekend at Hurricane Harbor is pretty bad. If you want the next tier up, you can get the Extreme Pass. This is a big jump in price compared to the last one, but you do get a lot more. The cost of this pass is more than the Diamond membership, which is the second highest you can get. That's about $150 a year, and this is $179. That one got you 30% off merch. This one gets you 25%. That one got you 35% off food. This one gets you 15%. That one got you 1 skip the line on every visit. This one gives you 2, but they are single use and only on weekdays, so you don't get one every time you go. That one got you preferred parking. This one just has standard parking. Both passes get you free drinks on every visit. And with the new one, you get 5 special rate tickets, plus 1 single day dining pass. This one definitely is a downgrade for your money. It's hard to argue with that. Now, there is one more level, but this one's gonna run you $329.99. The Ultimate Pass. This is about $100 more per year than Diamond Elite, the highest membership they offered. Diamond Elite got you 50% off food and merch. The Ultimate Pass gets you 30% off merch and 20% off food. You also would get 2 skip the line tickets every visit. Now, you get 5 single-use ones you can use any day. This is a huge downgrade. Both plans get you preferred parking and free drinks. And with the Ultimate Pass, you do get 10 special rate tickets, 10 meals on the dining plan, and a $50 attraction credit. Those last 2 things make up a lot of that cost difference, but you could just as easily take that extra money and buy that stuff separately. They're kind of taking your money hostage, forcing you to get food and use their upcharge attractions. Right now, with my Diamond Elite, I am paying maybe $5 a month for the dining plan. I get to use it twice every time I go. If you just want to buy the 2-meal dining plan, including the souvenir bottle, it's about $110 a year. Now, all I see offered as an add-on is the 4-meal plan for $39.99. This is a small discount depending what you get. You're going to pay $11, $12, or $13 for one of these meals, and they're charging you about $10 for each one. Needless to say, this is a huge downgrade. I remember the first year I used the dining pass a lot. Everyone in line for food seemed to have one, and by the end, I was thinking, they're gonna jack up the price for this thing. But they didn't. It stayed pretty steady over the years, but it seems like they finally pulled the plug on unlimited dining. They didn't even want to play with charging more, like Cedar Fair does. They just pulled the whole thing. There was a story a couple months ago about a guy who ate nothing but Six Flags food for years, and that story was everywhere. I had people sending me that story from every corner of my life. A lot of them thought it was me, and it makes me wonder if that spooked Six Flags, trying to avoid copycats. This is just a theory. I figured that over the years, a ton of people bought it for about $80, used it a couple times, and Six Flags made a huge profit. People like me who live really close and use it 2 or 3 times a week. We were the minority. For whatever reason, it's gone. That being said, what if you're already a member? What happens to you? I have good news. You are now considered a legacy member. You can keep your membership and all your benefits, as long as your account remains in good standing. I couldn't find anything about member dining specifically, but it seems like all your benefits you're currently paying for will be active, just as long as you pay. If your membership gets canceled by accident, if you're like me and your credit card expires, you have to call their national call center and get it taken care of. You still get your red membership bottle. You still get into the membership lounge, preferred parking, member events, and as of right now, they don't plan on charging you anymore. I'm not surprised they aren't booting everyone off their membership plan. I'm just surprised they abandoned the whole idea in the first place. It seems like every company in every industry is all in on memberships. They love the month-to-month payments with no expiration. The money gets drafted every month. Some people forget they're even getting charged. It's on the customer to take action to cancel it. With the pass, it's on the customer to take action to renew it. I totally understand why Six Flags was pushing memberships over the last few years. So why the sudden change? This is my guess. Six Flags has a new CEO, Salim Basul. He wants to get away from the Six Flags model that's been around forever. I'm not even talking about post-bankruptcy Six Flags. I'm talking about Six Flags as far back as I can remember. The chain always focused on quantity over quality. Cheap passes meant more people. Those people were usually teenagers. Teenagers don't spend money inside the park. Six Flags has looked around and seen every other chain outperform them while charging more. The new CEO wants to take the company on a new path. The key to revenue growth is fewer people paying more money for a better product. We saw this coming. Six Flags is working with B&M for the first time in 10 years. Not every park is getting a small edition anymore. This is more like the Cedar Fair model. You get 1 or 2 big prizes over 15 small ones. This isn't great news for small parks, but we'll see how Six Flags treats them under this new plan. These new passes are a good way to jack up the prices without being so obvious. Your typical season pass you've had over the last 20 years isn't suddenly doubling in price. Instead, you have to pick a new pass with a lot more benefits, but at a much higher price point. As for the members, how long will they be able to stay on? Maybe for a year, maybe forever. Maybe they'll slowly up the prices every year until they get them where they want them. We'll have to see. If nothing else, those new high-price passes will make people double-check their automatic payments, and their retention will be a lot higher than it was before. As of when I'm writing this, January 18th, most of the parks are still selling memberships as well as all-season dining plans. I don't think that'll be around much longer, so if you can find a park that you can get to and still offers one and you're interested, now's the time to do it. I have Diamond Elite, and I plan on keeping that for the long term. I'd much rather have that than the Ultimate Pass, where I'm paying $100 more for less benefits. One last thing, and this seems to be the trend at most parks these days, but Magic Mountain is going to continue their card and mobile payment system. No cash will be taken. You can bring cash to the park and convert it into a card, but that's it. I know from working at the park for so many years, cash causes so many problems, so I can see why they're doing this. It makes life for the park so much easier, even if it's annoying for the guests. I don't think they'll ever go back. That's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think of these new passes, what you think is driving the change, and what it means for the chain. I have a lot of theories, but you may have something different. Also, let me know what you plan on doing with these new options. I know they're not great, but it's what we got. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, and give me a sub for more content just like this. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-road footage, and my baseball channel if you also happen to love baseball. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.